ಗೌರವಾನ್ವಿತ ಕರ್ನಾಟಕ ರಾಜ್ಯಪಾಲರು ಶ್ರೀ ತವರ್ಚಂದ್ ಗೆಹ್ಲೋಟ್ ಅವರೇ, ಗೌರವಾನ್ವಿತ ಕರ್ನಾಟಕದ ಮಂತ್ರಿ ಶ್ರೀ ಬಸವರಾಜ ಬರಾಟಿ ಅವರೇ, PES ವಿಶ್ವವಿದ್ಯಾಲಯ ಕುಲಪತಿ ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್ MR ದ್ವಾರಸ್ವಾಮಿ ಅವರೇ, PES ವಿಶ್ವವಿದ್ಯಾಲಯ ಉಪಕುಲಪತಿ ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್ J ಸೂರ್ಯಪ್ರಸಾದ್ ಅವರೇ, PES ವಿಶ್ವವಿದ್ಯಾಲಯ ಸಹ ಕುಲಾಧಿಪತಿ ಪ್ರೊಫೆಸರ್ D ಜವಹರ್ ಅವರೇ, PES ವಿಶ್ವವಿದ್ಯಾಲಯ ಕುಲ ಸಚಿವರು ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್ KS ಶ್ರೀಧರ್ ಅವರೇ, ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ನಮಸ್ಕಾರ. PES ವಿಶ್ವವಿದ್ಯಾಲಯದ 6ನೇ ಘಟಿಕೋತ್ಸವದಲ್ಲಿ ಭಾಗವಹಿಸಲು ನನಗೆ ತುಂಬ ಸಂತೋಷವಾಗಿದೆ. ಇಂದು ನಾನು ಪದವೀಧರರಾಗಿರುವ ಎಲ್ಲ ವಿದ್ಯಾರ್ಥಿಗಳನ್ನು ಅಭಿನಂದಿಸುತ್ತೇನೆ ಮತ್ತು ನಿಮ್ಮ ಭವಿಷ್ಯದ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ನಿಮಗೆ ನನ್ನ ಶುಭಾಶಯಗಳು ತಿಳಿಸುತ್ತೇನೆ. God bless you all. All the best to you for a bright, meaningful future. My dear sisters and brothers, elders who are attending this program, faculty members, and my dear students, I am pleased to be here with you for the 6th convocation of PES University today. I congratulate all graduating students for achieving an important milestone in their lives. I also compliment all the teachers, parents, and university administrators whose hard work and support enabled the students to successfully reach the important academic landmark in their careers. I hope the passing out students will remember the words of Mahatma Gandhi ji, who said, I quote, "The aim of university education should be to turn out true servants of the people," unquote. This is what Gandhi ji has said. Spirit of service is what is needed most today. Our ancient sages said, Lokaha samasta sukhino bhavantu. Let the entire world be happy. You should move ahead in life with these great ideals in mind. Make the people, make the country, make the universe happy. My dear students, India has a glorious past, and in the field of education, our ancient universities like Takshashila, Nalanda, Vikramashila attracted students from many other countries, and it is estimated that more than 10,000 students studied under various disciplines at Nalanda. I had the good fortune of visiting Nalanda University, the present university, which is coming up on the lines of the ancient university. I went there for Dharma Dhamma conference. Yoga and meditation have been India's valuable contribution to world culture, duly celebrated by UN as International Yoga Day on June 21st of every year. Today, the 4th Industrial Revolution is knocking at our door, and it is driven by the knowledge economy. It is going to be knowledge economy. You acquire good knowledge, more knowledge, you will be economically secure. And also, the cutting-edge technological innovation, incubation, coming out with new ideas, out-of-box ideas, making life more comfortable, system less cumbersome, easy to understand, easy to implement. That is the future. We cannot afford to miss this opportunity, and our higher education institutions must equip our youth with 21st century skills. I am happy to note that the National Education Policy of 2020 aims to transform and reorient the higher education institutions of the country towards the challenges of knowledge economy. The new education policy is a well-documented, well-researched, well-thought-of policy document which has been presented to the country after a long, detailed discussion with all the stakeholders. And every university, every educational institution State and central government institutions, they should seriously, truthfully, faithfully implement the national education policy in letter and spirit. There is an urgent need to align our university classrooms to emerging global trends such as 5G-based technologies, which find applications in a wide range of areas including agriculture, medical, administrative, commerce and industrial management. Agriculture is the basic culture of our country. We should focus more and more on agriculture, make the system agriculture more viable so that the people continue in that profession. You know that a lot of people are migrating from that profession in search of better opportunities because agriculture, there are a lot of challenges. Vagaries of monsoon, market manipulation, and not having positive monsoon conditions with the climate change. So these are the challenges. And marketing, getting a better price, and also producing more. These are the areas where you, youngsters, the universities, must come out with new ideas to make agriculture viable, profitable. This has to be kept in mind by one and all. I am happy to know that PES University is focusing on training the students in modern areas such as artificial intelligence, machine learning, 5G technologies, robotics and biotechnology. It is commendable that 2 satellites have been built and launched by the university students and staff in association with the DRDO and ISRO. The PES University is the second university in the country after IIT Bombay, to achieve this spectacular feat speaks of our prowess in cutting research. I heartily congratulate Professor M.R. Doraiswamy and all the PES University staff, students for this singular contribution which makes the state and country proud. I know Dr. Doraiswamy since years. I know his commitment for education, service to the cause of academics, and the way he has taken this as a mission without giving any omission, doing any omission or giving any remission or expecting a commission, working for the nation with a passion. That's really a great quality after Dr. Doraiswamy, of Dr. Doraiswamy. And I'm happy that his son, Jawahar, following the footsteps of father, is focusing on raising academic standards and maintaining university with values and with ethics. This is very much required. The new generation should be told about ethics, about the values, about the standards set by our forefathers, and see to it that they are imbibed by the younger generation, because there is a certain amount of degeneration in the system, starting with political system, in other fields also. We must get back to our roots, our culture, our heritage, and then again build ethics and standards right from the student career. The government has brought in far-reaching reforms in the space sector aimed at boosting private sector participation in space activities. We may have to search for space in the space because we are adding to population. Land is the same. Water resources are same. We are going to face problem of congestion. Congestion creates tension. Tension makes you not to have attention. So that being the case, we must find out solutions and also promote family planning in a decent way without any discrimination. One. Secondly, we must also plan our architecture in such a way where housing and other programs are based in such a way, based on our ancient knowledge and wisdom, like air circulation, sunlight. We are depriving ourselves of sunlight in the present modern architecture. Everything is closed from every side, including minds also. We need to open up. Air circulation, enter this way and exit that way. This is the basic requirement. This is the lesson our teacher, the latest teacher is Corona. Corona has taught all of us, Corona pandemic, the need to be friendly with the nature. That's why I always stress everywhere, nature, culture, together for better future. This should be remembered by one and all and practiced well. I urge upon all the universities, private institutions, to make the best use of this opportunity, because the government allowed public-private partnership. Private sector has entered education in a big way, doing a great job. PS, university and education institutions are better examples. These opportunities that are provided should be made, used by everybody. The ultimate aim is to make India self-reliant. Space technology. We are now making satellites for other countries. And now we have shown our abilities in the pandemic, how fast we came out with masks, with the other medical equipments that are required, even oxygen plants. Country of our size with 130 crore population, it was not easy. But thanks to the visionary leadership of our Prime Minister, ably supported by the state governments of various states, and also thanks and hats off to our scientists who have come out with this vaccination. Indian vaccination. It's a great achievement. Great achievement by our scientists. I salute them on behalf of the nation. And also we should salute the farmers. In spite of pandemic, they have increased the production. One sector which has increased the production in this is, in spite of adversities, it is agri sector, 4.3% growth than earlier in the pandemic. And also the other doctors, nursing staff, technical people. Technical people in the medical side, they play a very important role. There are a lot of opportunities also for people who get into those courses. So universities, institutions must offer such courses and make people available not only to India, for the entire world. We have the capacity and we are young, having demographic dividend. 65% of the Indian population is 35 years below. 50% is 25 years below. There's a great, huge demographic dividend. We must take advantage of this. Technology. We must make use of it. Drone technologies are another emerging area that offers tremendous benefits to almost all sectors of the economy, including agriculture, surveillance, transportation, defense and law enforcement. The drone services industry is expected to generate over 5 lakh jobs in the next 3 years. India, with its traditional strengths in innovation, IT and fuel engineering, has the potential of becoming a global drone hub in the coming decades. We must focus our attention in creating skilled manpower for this sector. I am happy to know that PS University is actively considering starting courses on drone technology. In fact, all our higher education institutions and universities should be alive to national needs, international demands, and they must review and align their existing courses to the emerging global trends or start new courses in tune with them. In the 21st century, the global economy is dominated by knowledge-related activities. India aims to become a multi-trillion-dollar economy by 2050. National education policy sets a target of at least 50% of this to come from knowledge-related activities and skills. Technological universities have a special role to play in transforming India into a knowledge power. I appreciate the PS University has built a robust and vibrant research culture. In a short span of 5 years, more than 600 research papers have been published and a total of 24 patents have been fielded in the university, filed by the university. Sorry. I would suggest our universities lay more emphasis on implementable patents and intellectual property rights rather than academic patents to give a fillip to economy and industry. India urgently needs to adopt a multidisciplinary approach to research and development, and we must also strengthen industry institute linkages for better research outcomes. I found that many technological books used by engineering students in India are published by foreign authors. It would be good if our learned academicians could promote knowledge by coming out with more and more books of global standards on contemporary themes. I say so because Indian authors can better contextualize the engineering course content with regard to India's socio-economic conditions. This should be helpful for young students as they would be able to better understand and find solutions to the many problems faced by the rural India, farmers and other underprivileged groups in the society. We must strive to create a study material in Indian languages. It is very important. We must provide study material in Indian languages. We must promote Indian languages. I would like to see a day in all the technical courses, including medicine, are taught in mother tongue of the student, so that they understand better. They'll be able to communicate better. While keeping the English medium, we must come out with the Kannada medium, with the Telugu medium, Tamil medium. You have so many beautiful languages in the country. And if we make effort, I am happy. AICT has come out recently in 14 engineering colleges. The courses are going to be taught in mother tongue. It's a great initiative. The Prime Minister believes, the President of India, all of three of us, including the Chief Justice, we believe that education initially must be in the mother tongue. And some people have a wrong notion, sir, you cannot come up in life if you don't study in English medium. Who told? Sir, you cannot come up, sir. ऊपर जाना है तो अंग्रेजी में पढ़ना. मैंने कहा, मैंने भगवान से बात किया, उन्होंने कहा ऐसा कोई नियम नहीं है. कोई भी मीडियम में पढ़े, उनका एक्सपायरी टाइम होने के बाद ऊपर आ सकते हैं. मेरा अनुमति है. The God has told us that you can come and reach Him by your good deeds. Not simply because, no, the student told me, no, sir, you are taking it in a lighter way. I am talking about coming up in life. I said, of course. The President of India, just now I told you. The Vice President who comes from a village. The popular Prime Minister of India, Sri Narendra Bhai Modi. And the Chief Justice of India, Justice Ramana. All of us are studied basically in our mother tongue and we have reached this stage. What else you require? What else? What is the proof you require? This is the way we must move forward. We must learn as many languages as possible. English is good. Learn English also. But don't become English man and English woman. We must come out of that colonial mindset. Learn English, French, Russian, German, Urdu, Arabic, Parsi, anything, Persian, any language, as many languages as possible. But first, learn, practice mother tongue. Promote your mother tongue. Indigenous publications of academic journals is also called for to retain copyright and ownership of knowledge generated in this country, which otherwise is likely to be transferred to the international journals in which our research papers get published. My dear friends, socially relevant research and technologies are the need of the hour. In their journey towards excellence, universities also need to address nationally relevant and globally sensitive issues. In recent times, two such issues are demanding global attention. One is climate change and sustainable development. Technological universities and national institutes have an obligation to participate in these globally prioritized issues. I have been told that PS University is actively engaged in various socio-economic development projects in the state and the country. You have adopted more than 40 government schools for development in Bangalore city and rural districts. I understand that this university is also involved in organizing medical camps, skill training of school dropouts, and COVID relief work. I compliment you for this. This is the duty. It's our basic dharma, our culture and heritage. Sarve jana sukhino bhavantu, vasudaika kutumbakam. Share and care is the core of Indian philosophy. Share and care. So every institution, every individual, every person, student, parent, teacher should share with others also. Share their knowledge, share their experience, share their wealth. In whatever manner you can, that will give you more happiness. Do some regular physical activity. To all engineers, doctors, actors, tractor running farmers, everybody need to do some physical activity. You want to do yoga, you want to do cycling, you want to do jogging, you want to walking, do. But don't simply confine to talking alone. Walking also is required. And walk the talk. You walk the talk. Healthy lifestyle to avoid sedentary lifestyle, mechanical with this following of Western culture. Some of our youngsters are becoming very lazy. Once they become lazy, they'll become crazy. Keep that in mind. So eat proven Indian cooked food. There are so many varieties in Karnataka, across the country. I don't think anywhere in the world this many thousands and lakhs of food varieties. Whatever you want, you eat. Everything, everywhere there is special. I don't want to discuss in detail all of them. Our ancestors have prescribed us a rich variety of foods according to our climate and bodily needs, and we must always try to eat properly cooked traditional food for our physical and mental being. My dear students, always remember that the qualities of discipline, dedication and determination, and dynamism are very much required to progress in life. Dream high, aim high, work hard. This is my mantra to success. There is no shortcut. I am glad the university has made significant accomplishments in this journey towards excellence under the enlightening mentorship by Chancellor Professor M.R. Doraiswamy. I am told that in recognition of his eminence, Karnataka government invited Professor Doraiswamy to be its advisor, education reforms, and his 18 recommendations to the government have laid a robust plan of action for implementing under the national education policy in the state. I hope the university will scale new heights of academic excellence in the coming years and contribute and continue to work towards national development. I take immense pleasure in wishing the very best to all the graduating students. God bless you all for a bright and meaningful future. Whatever profession you enter, take it as a mission. Whatever profession you want to enter, and serve the society. Take care of your parents, mother, father, grandparents. Take care of your teachers, respect them, who has given you this beautiful knowledge. And remember your alma mater, the university where you studied, the college where you studied, the school where you studied. And also remember that we have a duty towards the society. Thank you very much. Namaskara. Jai Hind.
Honorable Vice President of India, Shri Venkaiah Naidu ji.